Dustin Wolf keeps making his Calder Trophy case as Daniil Miromanov continues to make strides. Hey everyone, welcome into Hot Topics. This episode brought to you by ProStars Plumbing and Heating, Calgary's first choice when it comes to plumbing and heating. Rob Wong joined alongside by Postmedia Calgary Flames writers Wes Gilbertson and Danny Austin. And guys, the Flames feeling good right now, winners in 3 of their last 4, and a big reason has been the play of Dustin Wolf, who has all 3 of those wins on his record. Wesley's now 7-2-1 on the year, 2.36 goals against average, and a .925 save percentage. Goalies typically do not win the Calder Trophy. The last one, of course, Steve Mason, all the way back in 08-09. But could this be the year that a Tendy takes home the trophy?
You know, we typically don't talk about the Calder Trophy midway through November either. I'm not sure I remember it being a topic of discussion around Calgary on Grey Cup weekend before, but you can understand why people are so excited about what Dustin Wolf is doing and how settled he looks and what he's meant to the Calgary Flames. You know, last night in another stellar performance against the New York Islanders, Danny's sitting beside me writing the game story and probably feeling like he's written it 5 times already because Dustin Wolf has, on more nights than not, been the biggest storyline for the Calgary Flames. And so, you know, the Calder buzz, I think, is both a credit to the start he's off to. And yeah, goalies don't win it very often, but they also don't win AHL MVP awards. And Dustin Wolf did that on his way up as well. I think it's also a little bit of a reflection of maybe the slower or more underwhelming starts for some of the other Calder Trophy favorites. You know, Matvei Michkov's been healthy scratched a couple times in Philadelphia. Logan Stankoven's numbers aren't maybe what people were anticipating in his first full season. Macklin Celebrini's had some injury issues. So good on Dustin Wolf. He's taken advantage. He's really had one bad start so far this season, and he's really nosed his way into that discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a couple factors that are going to influence it. Ultimately, I don't think there's any question that Dustin Wolf's play is going to have people talking about him as one of the top rookies. Realistically, I imagine the fact that he did play some games last year, I mean, he still qualifies as a rookie, but he's going to have to be exceptional to get people and voters really thinking of him that way. And then it depends how many games he plays. I mean, he's still on track for basically playing half of the games this season. Dan Vladar, we'll see what's happening because the way Dustin Wolf's playing, that platoon might change a little bit. But if Dustin Wolf plays 41 games, I think he's probably going to have a hard time, winning that award. But with the way he's playing, I mean, you just can't rule anything out, and you can't rule out the fact that he's going to get a 3rd start in a row, first goalie in a Flames uniform to do that this season. So I have no question that his play warrants it. I think that the politics involved, getting those votes, I think they're going to be challenges.
Yeah, and as Wes points out, it is still very early on in the season, so a lot of things can change. Another player that has had a strong month so far has been Daniil Miromanov. The numbers don't jump off the page, Danny, but does it feel as though his impact goes beyond the box score?
Yeah, I think that if you look at his season so far, you can sort of divide it into October and November. Like, it's almost bizarre how much there's a line right down the middle there between the 2 months. I asked Ryan Huska about it yesterday, and Huska said it early in the season. Mirmanov just wasn't impacting the game in any way. It was almost like it caught me off guard the way he put it, because you don't often hear coaches say that, but it's hard to argue with. We were waiting. This guy was acquired in the deal for Noah Hannafin last year, came in. We knew that he was dealing with a knee injury, but I actually thought he looked better recovering from the knee injury last year than he did for the sort of first 8 or 9 games this season. He just wasn't moving, and again, he wasn't impacting the game. So something has changed. I can't quite figure out what it is. I imagine it's just confidence. And I know that we all felt yesterday after he scored on Friday against Nashville, he was really putting himself in good positions. Even though he didn't get another, he was dangerous. But it's probably confidence, and it's probably just, under comfort in the NHL and comfort that he is an NHL player. But it's huge for the Flames because they've been getting good performances from Rasmus Andersson, from Kevin Ball, from Mackenzie Weegar. They sort of had those 3 going right from the start, and now it a little bit feels like they've got a 4th. And having 2 solid pairings like that who are making an impact is big.
Yeah, I'd love to kind of be sitting on Mackenzie Weegar's shoulder on the bench at times, because I think he has so much to do with what we've seen in Daniil Miromanov, and just sort of a comfort that can be a good pairing, a good partnership for the Flames. As recently as a couple of weeks ago, I think I sat here and said, do they need to go find a partner for Mackenzie Weegar? Do they have the right guy? You have to know that Mirmanov was wondering the same thing. I mean, they went out and signed Tyson Barrie, who was sort of direct competition for him. They healthy scratched him a couple times early in the season, knocked him down to the third pairing. And I think, in addition to the stuff that Danny's talked about, one of the things that Ryan Huska has pointed out is that he just thinks there's finally a little bit of sort of comfort. Okay, I'm on a pairing with Weegar. I'm not coming out of the lineup. And, it's been a small sample size, but if he can play a lot more in the coming games like he has in the next couple, it'll be really big for a team that, we've talked about maybe not having top four defensemen. Well, if he keeps this up, we're probably not having that discussion anymore.
Lastly, you hate to nitpick at wins, but Wes, the offense still remains a work in progress. Calgary in the bottom third of the league, and goals per game, is that still an area of concern for you?
I mean, it has to be. They, I think, have 4 goals from their past 3 games, and then you take out the 2 scored by defensemen in Mirmanov and Anderson. Now you're down to 2. You take out Blake Coleman's goal because it was an empty netter, and then you've got a fourth line forward left with the other one. And so, not that defense goals and empty netters don't count, but what's missing there is offense from your top 6 or your top 9 other than Coleman. And so, yeah, I think it has to be a concern. I mean, you can go a long ways with good goaltending, but you can't expect to win 2-1 in a shootout every night. And so hopefully, if you're Ryan Huska, you're taking some positives from last night. Martin Pospisil gets an assist for his first point in 16 or 17 games. Nazem Kadri now has significant assists in back-to-back games after a pretty cold spell. Andrei Kuzmenko still hasn't scored in ages, but the way he roofed that backhander in the shootout last night probably builds some confidence. And so maybe the start of something offensively, but we'll have to wait and see about that.
Now, Rob, I apologize for not 100% keeping up with my homework because I didn't check this morning, but I did check last night. And as of midway through the third period, there is no team that is 500 or above in the NHL that has scored less goals than the Calgary Flames. So they are. That's, again, we're recording this on Wednesday morning. That's as of Tuesday night. I apologize. But they're not scoring enough goals. And it's great that they're getting. It's why those stellar performances from Dustin Wolf. And I will say, I also do think Dan Vladar has been very good. This week's been all about Wolf, but they've been getting good goaltending from both guys. It's why the defense, despite potentially Anderson and Weegar slowing down offensively a little bit, they've just been so good. So is Kevin Ball. That's how they're winning games. But, we say, okay, well, Kadri's starting to get going, but it is a little bit. The question now is, where is Kadri? Where is Kuzmenko? Where is Sharon Govich, who got 30 goals? Blake Coleman was a 30-goal guy last year. He's mostly been getting empty netters recently. So you need these guys. These are the guys who are at some point going to have to take over games and score those timely goals. Because I think it's going to be really hard. That game last night, Rasmus Anderson just walked off the ice, and the first thing he said to us was, man, that was a grind. You don't want to be grinding out wins like that every single night. 2-1 wins that go to shootouts. They've got to get timely goals. They'd probably like to win a couple by 2 or 3, because otherwise it is going to be exhausting. So they need those offensive guys to use their talent and actually, I don't want to say do what they're getting paid for, because they're getting paid to do a lot of things and they're not all playing terribly. But they need offense from the guys who are being paid to be offensive players.
Yeah, well, it won't get easier on Thursday nights as the New York Rangers come to town. They've allowed the second fewest goals in the NHL this season. So we'll see how the Flames offense fares in that one. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. For Wes Gilbertson and Danny Austin, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.